The day in question, I was not in the Senate. I was in NMPC hospital. When I came out of the hospital, my driver said to me, Madam, there's wahala in the Senate. I said, what about? He didn't tell me, he just said Senator Natasha. As soon as I heard her name, as I always do with everything that concerns her, I promptly called her. I said, Natasha, what's going on? He said, he started to try to explain about seating. She had not given me the proper explanation. I had not been given the opportunity to respond when she said to me, I'll call you back, I'll call you back. Till today, Senator Natasha has not called me back. I have a smartphone. Before I called Senator Natasha's husband, I had called Senator Natasha twice without response. Then I called him to say, I've called her twice, she's not answering me. He said, oh, she went to Singapore. Maybe that's why. And then I said to him, this is not the way this should be handled. Now, let's go on to other things. The reason we've heard it said everywhere that the 3 women in the Senate have been silent. Yes, because silence is golden, especially when one of us is not following the rules. And as women, we did not want to come out publicly to say anything negative about her. And we were hoping all of this will blow over, as a lot of things do. Now, the truth of the matter is, yes, the Senate is not gender-friendly, but it has been improving, much better than when we first entered the Senate, I must say. And the truth of the matter is, when we make a fuss and we draw the attention of the Senate president, he does correct it. Truly, the Senate can do better than it's doing, but there's hardly anything that's been done to us that's not done to other men. It is more appropriate to say that the Senate is not opposition-friendly. Now, the Senate leadership may not be gender-friendly, but I must say the majority of the senators, they are very kind and they are conciliatory to us. They look out for the fact that women, some of them have been there before. They guide us on, do it like this, do it that way. And slowly, even I can say, without anybody repudiating that fact, that I am the singular senator that fights the Senate president the most. But I have learned to do it. If it arises on plenary, I deal with it there, especially when it's on issues to do with my constituency. When it's on other issues of privileges, I go and meet him when all the senators are in the dining room, and I fight with him there and get the support of other senators. Senate is a place where the majority takes the day. So then also I want to say something. Us women in the Senate, in fact, to be honest, Senator Natasha has gotten the most privilege of all the 4 of us.
Hello everyone. You just watched that, right? I saw the different interviews. I've watched several pieces. I'm just speechless. That's the only thing I'll say. I'm just speechless. I really, when they say silence is golden, it actually would have been golden by her just keeping quiet and never saying anything than actually what she came out, to talk about. She did say according to Senator Ireti, she did call Senator Natasha promptly, and then they were having a conversation. She said she was going to call back, which she didn't do. And then later, she called her husband and all of that. This is not the way this should be handled. How should it be handled? And Senator Ireti talking about privileges. We've seen a lot of time where Senator Ireti has come out to talk about how she has been marginalized, in the affairs that happen. Is that also a privilege? And when you talk about sitting arrangement, trivializing it down to sitting arrangement, what are the remote causes that led to that? That's the first thing you need to look about. And let's take example and look at Rosa Parks. When Rosa Parks refused to stand up that fateful day, the rule was that you're supposed to stand up, right? And it's a small thing. What's the big deal? Just stand up in a seat, a white person's seat, and then you get home. There were a lot of people who said that to Rosa Parks, but she had it here with accumulation of things. So when you're looking at it, just like Natasha had also said in an interview, it's not just about the seed, it's about accumulation of things that had happened and the anger that follows it to say, hey, I beg, today not today, if not that, may we die. And the way for me, even when I watched the first video that came out where Senator Natasha was speaking, the arrogance of Akpabio calling, is this Sergeant Major, come and take her out, she's suspended. I'm like, are you able to suspend somebody just like that just because you're Senate president? It shouldn't be now. You're all voted for. You're all first among equals. That's what the legislative house is. And then you can say you send her to committee. Let a committee of colleagues sit down and say, okay, your behavior wasn't good. But for him to sit down on that table and just feel that he could just say this thing, it's just unbelievable. The Senate, she said it's not gender friendly. It is improving more than when they came. Her improvement, Senator Ireti's improvement, is not Senator Natasha's improvement. And I think this is one thing people need to understand. I tell people a lot of time. Just the other day, I was in a group of this, and I wrote to them. I said, look, when they are talking about the injustice that some people are facing, don't bring your own inside. Focus on the issue that is on ground. It's not about you. When they come to you, then they can talk about you. If, for example, Senator Ireti feels that the Senate is much better than when she came and things are going nicely and her male colleagues are smiling at her and saying, mama, mama, whatever it is they are saying, helping her, fine. That's her own reality. That's not Senator Natasha's reality. Senator Natasha might want more than what she feels is okay. It's just like my generation, what we feel is okay when it comes to issue of gender equity, equality, and all of that. It's not okay with my daughter's generation. There are certain things that I'm accepting, and my daughter is looking at me as if, are you crazy? Why are you accepting that? Why is that okay to you? How is that okay to you? And I'll give you one very quick example. When my daughter was in SS year 11, they call it, in secondary school, which was the final year. And no, I think when they just entered, they were going to run for prefect. And I was like, oh, so that means there are 50% girls, 50%. She looked at me like, what's that? Apparently, I think they had like about 10 girls were running because you run for office, and just like 2 boys. They even had to be encouraging the boys to run. So my own reality was, if you even have 50 girls running, 50, they make it 50-50. That's a major thing. But for my daughters, she was like, what? The way she looked at me, she said, what's that? Why is it 50-50? She said, no, there are about, I think whether she said 12, was it 12 girls that were running and 2 boys? I think they were 14 position or something like that. So we must understand this. So I cannot come with my own generation. So when the younger generation, my daughter's generation, are talking about the kind of things that they want to see happen, and I'm bringing my dead older person mentality to come and be telling her generation or her said that, oh, this is what you should be. No, I should shut up and let her be what it is that they want. The same way Senator Ireti needs to shut up and let Senator Natasha ask for the things that she needs to ask for. If she feels that it's okay with her, the Senate is doing very well. But that's not what, Senator Natasha is feeling. And the way she said that, okay, the Senate is not opposition friendly, according to her. And then she talked about the men being kind, guiding them. I'm like, hey, sister, which gender bill have you brought there? Kind. Is it to say, hi, how are you? Men are always kind when it comes to, hey, hi, how are you? It's when it comes to you having a right, women being human beings. That's where the hi, how are you ends. But on the surface, to look at it and say, oh, they're actually very, very kind. But is that kind, and I want job. If I say I'm so disappointed, so disappointing. Oh, Lord have mercy. Okay, and then there was something also that Senator Ireti mentioned, where she says Senator Natasha has gotten the most privileges amongst the 4 of them. Is this some kind of contest, some kind of jealousy, some kind of anger, some kind of, what's it? because honestly, Senator Natasha happens to know her onions very well. Senator Ireti too knows her onion, but Natasha, for me, she's been like, whoop. She just came in as if she came in prepared. She already know what she's doing and she's going about it, and she's not afraid, to stay there. And to say this is someone that has always stood with Senator Ireti. All this thing that even that time that they had that where Senator Akpabio had said to Senator Natasha that this is not a nightclub. It was, I think it was on the issue of, if I'm not mistaken, it was on the issue of Senator Ireti during that Karu market fire thing and stuff like that, when they had used, is it government money? But it was something related to Senator Ireti. And she has always stood up, defended. The other two female senators, those ones are just kind of, they just put placeholders. Those ones are like placeholders, so there's no need of even talking about it. But anyway, just wait and look at this video again.
Supposed to be fighting over trivialities like sitting arrangements. It's a place where we're supposed to fight about issues that affect the people. And that's why this whole thing is a non-issue. If we were fighting, the truth, when I say it's not gender friendly, we expected, because there were only 4 of us, that we'll get privileges. But we don't get them. We fought to get there, and the fight continues until we can get more women in the Senate. So if we don't get privileges, we don't get them. But it does not mean that we don't get our rights. The 3 of us have not been sexually harassed. That's not to say if Senator Natasha can prove that she has been, that is fine. We will support her. But she's never discussed it with us. We don't know about it. She did not respond to the rest of the female senators. She has not spoken to any of us throughout this whole episode. From change of seat to now. Senator Banigo was with her, tried to talk to her that it can be resolved. She did not listen to her. So I'm coming to say that women of Nigeria have larger things in front of them. We are trying to pass special bills, 35% inclusion. We cannot be fighting over where we sit. And it really denigrates the institution in a manner that's not beneficial to Nigeria, the people, or the women. That's all I'm here to say.
I just can't believe that I heard what Senator Ireti just said. I can't believe it. So it's just like coming to say that because insecurity or maybe terrorists have never kidnapped us or abducted us, then that means abduction is not. It's not really an abduction or whatever. What is it I heard? So because the 3 of them have not been sexually harassed, that means what? Is that all Senator Ireti had to say on this matter? Oh, Lord have mercy. Oh, kai. Oh, no. Kai. Okay, now. Oh, no. Ah, yeah. She's not spoken to them. Has not talked. So she's the one that's supposed to be speaking to the other senator, not you looking for her and speaking to her. After you've castigated her, after you said all sorts. The 3 of you. Yeah. Honestly, I'm just done.